everyone, today's video is about when you get into a car accident while with him on the phone. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going. Bakugou sat in his room, his phone held tightly in his hand as he listened to your voice on the other end. He loved talking to you, even if it was just about your day or what you had for lunch. As he listened to you talk, he couldn't help but smile, feeling a warmth in his chest. "So, how was your day?" he asked, leaning back in his chair. "It was okay. Just a lot of work, and I had to deal with some annoying customers," you replied, your voice a little subdued. Bakugou chuckled. "I feel ya. You know how many times I have to deal with idiots at school?" You both laughed, the conversation turning to lighter topics. As you talked, Bakugou couldn't help but feel grateful for you. You were like a rock in his life, his constant support, and he couldn't imagine his life without you. Then suddenly, he heard a loud crash and the sound of metal bending. He sat up straight, his heart pounding in his chest as he tried to make sense of what had just happened, or if he was just imagining it somehow. "Man, what the hell was that?" he demanded, his voice shaking with worry. There was a moment of silence before you spoke, your voice shaking. I got into an accident," you said, your voice barely above whisper. Bakugou's heart dropped as he heard the fear in your voice. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. You hesitated for a moment before answering. "I don't know," you said. Bakugou didn't waste a second. He jumped out of the chair and grabbed his keys, not even bothering to put on his shoes. "Stay on the phone with me, okay? I'm coming to get you," he said, his voice firm and determined. As he drove, Bakugou couldn't help but feel his heart racing. He couldn't lose you. He wouldn't be able to handle it. He cursed at the traffic, wishing he could go faster. Finally, he arrived at the scene of the accident, his heart pounding in his chest as he saw the wreckage. He jumped out of the car and ran towards you, his heart in his throat. As he got closer, he saw you sitting on the side of the road, tears streaming down your face. "Man, are you okay? Are you hurt?" he called out, rushing to your side. You looked up at him, your eyes filled with tears. "Bakugou," you whispered, your voice shaking. He pulled you into his arms, holding you tightly. "I'm here. I've got you," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. As the ambulance arrived and the paramedics checked over you, Bakugou couldn't help but feel grateful that you were alive. He stayed by your side, holding your hand tightly as you were loaded into the ambulance and taken to the hospital. Hours passed, and Bakugou sat in the waiting room, his heart heavy with worry. Finally, the doctor came out, looking grave. "Bakugou Katsuki," he said. Bakugou stood up. "Yes, that's me. How are they?" The doctor sighed. "They're lucky to be alive. They're... They have a few broken bones and some internal bleeding, but they're stable for now. We're going to keep them in the hospital for a few days for observation." Bakugou nodded, his heart pounding with relief. "Can I see them?" he asked. The doctor nodded. "Just for a few minutes. They're heavily sedated, so they might not be fully awake." Bakugou nodded, his heart pounding, as he followed the doctor to your room. As he entered, he saw you lying in the hospital bed, hooked up to various machines. He sat down on the chair next to your bed, taking your hand in his. "Hey, Lion," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. "I'm here. I was so worried. I'm so glad you're okay. I would never survive without you. I don't know how or what happened, but I'm so scared. I was, and I still am. I'm I'm so glad you're okay. I'm here for you, okay? Don't forget that. You stirred, slowly opening your eyes. Bakugou, you whispered, your voice weak. He leaned over, pressing a kiss to your forehead. I'm sorry this happened. I'm just glad you're okay, he said, his voice filled with emotion. You smiled weakly, your eyes closing again as you drifted off to sleep. Bakugo stayed by your side, holding your hand tightly, and vowing to never let anything like that happen again to you. You were his world, and he would do anything to protect you. The next few days were a blur of worry and anxiety for Bakugo. He spent every moment he could be by your side, holding your hand and talking to you, even though you were still mostly unconscious. The doctors told him that you were stable, but it would be a long road to recovery. Bakugo didn't care about the time it would take. It could take you years if you wanted. Years, literally. He couldn't care less. I mean, as long as you're okay. And happy too. He was just grateful that you're alive, and that he still had the chance to be with you, to be able to talk to you, hear your voice, to see you. He spent hours in the hospital room, reading to you, or just talking about anything that comes to mind. He didn't want you to feel alone or scared. He wanted you to be okay again, happy, and be able to move, maybe. Slowly, you started to regain your strength. You could stay awake for longer periods of time, and you were able to communicate more clearly with Bakugo. You were able to talk more. He was overjoyed to see you getting better, and he never left your side since. As you began to recover, Bakugo started to think about the future. He couldn't imagine going back to the life without you. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with you, to protect you and make you happy. Finally, the day came when you were well enough to leave the hospital. Bakugo helped you into the wheelchair and wheeled you out of the hospital, feeling a sense of relief wash over him as the fresh air hit his face. You were finally going to be okay, and with him again. That was so much better. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye!